Me, 52 male, just found out at least 4 of my 5 children, 33 female, 30 female, 28 male, 24 female, 14 female, are not mine. Wife, 51 female, won't say anything. First, please accept my apologies if this becomes lengthy and rambling. I am not in the greatest of moods. Over the past several weeks, my world has been flipped upside down. I simply want to provide as much background as possible so that I may get the best counsel possible. For obvious reasons, I am still hesitant to discuss this with my friends/parents/siblings. Background: I met my wife in high school and we married in college. We have 5 lovely children together. Seriously, despite of what I'm going to say, I consider them a tremendous gift, and I believed we had the ideal marriage until a few weeks ago. We were typical high school sweethearts. We go out together, we never quarrel, and I believe I've done everything a loving spouse should do. I don't say this to portray myself as the ideal husband. For example, my job has always required me to work long hours and I may not have always been there when she needed me, but I do want to emphasize that I've never thought our marriage was in peril. And I would never have suspected my wife of being disloyal in a million years, since she has always done all she could to support me and care for our children. My eldest daughter just had an ancestry test. And the ancestry test findings clearly revealed that I was not her father. She confided in me privately, handing me the findings, and I could see she was distressed. Of course, the first thing I did was convince her that she is my daughter and that I would always love her completely. Second, since ancestry tests are not totally dependable, the 2 of us agreed to acquire an authentic paternity test. It returns, and I am not her biological father. This was heartbreaking news for me. I'm embarrassed to admit that I burst into tears in front of my kid. The combination of discovering my wife's cheating and how distraught I was making my daughter by my reaction. I wish I had kept it to myself for her sake, but I didn't. Following that, I invited my other children, with the exception of my youngest, to come and visit me. I wanted to know the extent of my wife's infidelity. If it was a one-time occurrence, I may be able to move on, particularly considering how long ago it occurred. However, I did not want to inform my youngest since she is still in school, a teenager, and I did not believe it was right to tell her at this time. We tell the other 3 what occurred, and I reassure them that I love them completely and will always be there for them, but I need to know how long this has been going on. I can't even begin to describe how moving their response was. They didn't care that I wasn't their biological father, all they cared about was how heartbroken I was. I feel like their constant support has been the only thing that has kept me going these past several weeks. So we've completed paternity testing for each of the 3. Not only are none of them my biological offspring, but 4 of my children are fathered by 3 separate men. Which, in some ways, exacerbated the situation. It's almost as if she wasn't just having one affair, but several? I'm not sure how this makes things worse, but it does. So I tell my wife about it, expecting her to confess and seek forgiveness. She refuses to confess. She doesn't take it seriously at all. She claims that the tests must be defective. Is it all 4? What the heck am I meant to make of that? I keep bringing it up, and she dismisses it, becoming more irritated with me. She'll attempt to guilt trip me if I bring it up. We've been together since high school, do you really not trust me? And so on. But how can I believe her in the face of such overwhelming evidence? Now that I've rambled and recounted what occurred, I suppose I should ask a few straight queries for guidance. How can I tell my children that nothing has changed between us? I feel that the way I've responded, absolute meltdowns, has made them doubt this, no matter how many times I reassure them. How should I manage my eldest daughter? I believe our marriage is doomed, and I will have to tell my daughter something. I don't want her to know the truth till she's older, but I also don't want my wife to lie and make me seem bad. Is there any way you believe I could or should preserve my marriage? I've been married to my wife my whole life, and it's difficult for me to imagine living without her. I know the solution should be a simple leave her, but we have 5 children together. If there is anything that can be done to rescue our marriage, I want to seriously examine it. Edit: I haven't responded to as many comments as I should have, but I have read them all and have taken your suggestions to heart. I'll keep reading any comments or messages you send my way. I can't thank you enough for all of your help. If this is fixed, I may provide an update. But if she continues to lie, I doubt I'll bother since there isn't much else I can offer. Based on the suggestions in this and the r/parenting threads, I've chosen to get further testing only in case a rare event occurs. Confront my wife in front of all 4 of my elder children. Inform my youngest about the problem. Inquire if she wants a paternity test. It will be fully up to her. I'm definitely going to get some kind of counseling. My mental health has been worsening over the past several weeks, and I owe it to my children to keep it together. I have not ruled out some type of counseling depending on if my wife reveals the truth and what her explanation, if any, is. But, for the time being, I believe divorce is unavoidable unless she radically alters her attitude. Contact a lawyer and prepare for divorce if necessary. I'd want to thank everyone again for taking the time to show their support and provide suggestions. Edit 2. Considering the number of issues that have been asked, I believe I should respond to some of them. What evidence did the ancestry tests provide that I was not her biological father? My whole family is of Irish descent. Aside from my immediate family, I have no other relatives outside of Ireland, and I even have the trademark red hair of the Irish people. When my daughter's genealogical research was completed, she discovered that she had no relatives from the British Isles, Western Europe, or Northern Europe. However, it is far from definitive, and so the paternity testing is being conducted to find out who fathered the child. In which 2 cases are the children fathered by the same individual? My 2 eldest children were both fathered by the same guy, and I have no doubt about it. What was the process through which your wife became pregnant with your children? Our eldest daughter was not conceived as a result of a planned pregnancy. All of the other events had been scheduled in advance. We were successful in conceiving each time after many months of trying. Although we both agreed on the first 3 children we wanted to have, she coerced me into having our 4th and youngest. As she was in her late 40s and desirous of having another child before it was too late, I gave my approval. Additionally, she was conceived some months after we first started trying. Do you suffer from infertility? I'm not sure what to say. I've never had a fertility test done on me. Although I am not certain, the fact that none of our planned children are mine gives me reason to suspect that I am. I'm planning to get a fertility test done as soon as I can afford it. Story 2. My wife cheated on me with multiple people from Meet Me. I'm in a state of shock. The fact that I can't sleep, and that I can't even shut my eyes without feeling ill to my stomach, is frustrating. I've been married for 18 years. There are 3 children. I discovered this after receiving a random text message from a buddy about things she was up to with other men. When I challenged her, she, of course, first denied any wrongdoing. In the end, she said it was simply chatting to people, which led into a few images being sent back and forth the next day, and the following day, I discover she has at least 2 individuals I am aware of in the previous month. People who appear out of nowhere. My wife's nudes are undoubtedly being handed around out in the open. I'd rather be dead than to be suffering in this way. It seems she is pleading for forgiveness, but considering how many times she has lied before, I cannot see how that is possible. I still have a strong affection for her. My wife complained to me that I wasn't paying enough attention to her and that I wasn't showing her the love she required. I would tell her how lovely she is and how much I adore her on a daily basis, and we would have a lot of. I've been taken completely by surprise. It seems to be completely unjust. Despite the fact that she's been sobbing nonstop, she's upstairs sleeping well, and I'm down here at 4 a.m. loathing myself, feeling embarrassed, deceived, and hopeless. I'll be 40 in a week, and I'm having to start again from the beginning. I'm completely baffled as to what I'm expected to do. There is nowhere to go, even if you wanted to go right now. Despite my efforts, I do not earn a lot of money. When it comes to divorce, I can't afford to hire an attorney. And, sure, divorce is the road I'm leaning towards right now. Is there anybody out there who has been able to forgive someone for anything like this? Do you have any words of wisdom or pointers for me? I used to be a cheerful person who enjoyed going out and spending time with my friends. The notion of going out the front door right now is too much for me to bear at this point. I'm enraged at the moment.